Hello and welcome to Maker Support Master of None, and today what we'll be doing is building a new PC right here. I started streaming on my gaming channel and that has taken a little bit of a toll on my gaming laptop, especially when you have to do not only the game itself but also streaming to multiple locations as well. So I was trying to do Twitch and YouTube and also at some point trying to do TikTok as well, and that was just a little bit too much for my 3-year-old laptop at this point, which was running a i9 1400K and a 3070 mobile. We have a little bit of an upgrade, and you might be wondering, RAM is really expensive at the moment. What is he going to do? And the answer is second-hand RAM. We're gonna have to do what we can do and start with that. Let's just double check before we start. Everything that we have ordered has arrived and it is what it is supposed to be. Ordering second-hand parts is a risk and will always be a risk, especially if you're doing online orders because you can't verify what it is. So as part of the build, we'll be checking what it is that we actually got and whether that was to spec. Very Kingston beast, 2 sticks of 16 gigs, and they should do us fine. The RAM are here, we just need to double check them when they're on the system. From Amazon, I have ordered our CPU and our GPU. RYZEN 7 9800 X3D, that's the one I went for. 5070 from ASUS Prime. Initially I did want a 5080 or a 5070 Ti, but recently the graphic card prices also shot up as well. Before we go on any further, let's just double check that the GPU is indeed inside and it's not been replaced by rocks, as we have all heard the horror stories that have happened. GPU in all of its glory. That goes back in the case before we drop things, as we tend to do on our builds. For our CPU cooler, we have a Arctic Liquid Freezer 3 Pro 360. Our motherboard, we have an 850M in the M80X style because that's what this box is going to do. The reason I went for this is not only because I like the aesthetics, but also I intended to use it as a living room PC, or at least have the option to move it around slightly easier than a full-size case like my old PC was. And my old PC, if you're wondering, runs at 1080. It's still right here. But I also got this case second-hand as well. This box was listed as opened but not used. The box is bigger than what I expected it to be, but I also didn't want to get a full-size system or pay the i80X tax. Oh wow, it is big. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. Oh dear. Maybe I should have gone for the smaller one. I know nothing about PCs, or rather I have done my research and due diligence on stuff that I got, but I don't really know much other than that. I am an engineer, I can probably figure this out at some point. I'm going to follow the instructions on the build. So admittedly, yes, I don't know much about building computers, but I have also watched a lot of Linus Tech Tips. So hopefully that should be information osmosis into my brain. And the first thing we're going to do is put the CPU on. Be careful not to drop it, be careful not to misalign the pins. See if I do this correctly. Unclip this one, and that should lift up hinge. Align the dot to the dot and just place that on top. Everything now is lined up in there, and then when this closes, this should pop off, right? Has a scary sound. Yes. Quick installation guide. Probably should have read that first. I'm wondering whether we should install RAM first. But I need to figure out which one is slot 1 and which one is slot 3. Or whether they actually want you to do that or not. Memory module doesn't say which one is which. So let's find the user manual, shall we? If in doubt, always check user manual, because the user manual knows more about it than you do. I know they want channel A2 and B2. So it says here what slot is which, and we're going A2 and B2. I probably shouldn't touch that. There's a little gap on there, so there is a way around, and that gap corresponds to here. Okay, so that's the correct way around. You can go in. To anyone who knows anything about building PCs, this is probably very boring. This is my first time actually building a PC. I spec'd the PCs that I like. But I've never built one myself physically. There we go. That's in. So those two are in. Now let's install SSD. That's the Wi-Fi module already installed, so you can't put anything on here. So here is your slot. And I think you have another slot here. So if I need to expand my storage, I can do. Make sure it goes all the way in. There we go. Now it sticks up. Were there any screws? Okay.
A few minutes later.
Am I dumb? Am I missing something? What we're gonna do is we're gonna try and put the other stuff in, and then hopefully the screws will show up somewhere as we need to tidy. So we are going to take off these 4 screws, and then it means we can slide our power supply in through there, which we'll use later. And then we have all of these cables. Now that's a PCIe cables. Good thing they label these. CPU cable, 600 watts. So this is probably a graphics card, and we definitely don't want that going into flames. Actually, we can also read what's on here as well. All of these stuff, CPU and PCIe, SATA Molex. So we don't have any SATAs. Important not to over tighten them. It's very easy to do, but you might then strip the screw, and then you don't want to do that, definitely. So I was expecting another few holes on the bottom as well. It is holding. I don't particularly like it, but I'm also not going to tap into a power supply because the third mounting hole is here on this side. I don't know whether this will kind of reach. It might, just barely. Wonder if there is a washer in there. Need to be massive, but I found one. It might mean it's applying slightly uneven pressure, but at least then it's actually clamping onto the power supply rather than not. That feels better. Still a little bit weak on this side, but there's nothing you can do there, unfortunately. So that goes back in. Luckily, most of these is supported. Cool. So that's the power supply. Let's bring it this way so we can now install the motherboard. Oops. Didn't know that was there. One thing that I realized I made a mistake of as I was looking at the user guide, and that's why you should look at user guides. Come on. Is that my M.2 should be inside here as the primary. This is actually the secondary and tertiary. But before we do that, just make sure it fits and mounts in here nicely. Okay, so now here is some thermal pads, so there's heatsink on it. So now this can go to here first. There we go, so turn and then lock. So don't need screws for these, that's just something I missed. Remove liner. As it says, this is thermal pad underneath, which will help the thermal conductivity of this as we align this back on. So it says if you need to install drives, then you can do that now. We don't have drives, so we're going to ignore those. HDD installations, we might come back and do that. So now comes the GPU. Okay, that's in. And I think once we put the screws back in, they shouldn't bend too much. We also have some loose cables here as well, so let's put them on this. And then the part I dread the most, I have seen horror stories of AIO going horribly wrong, but that's not this brand. It was NZKT or something. And then they had a dispute about how much payment, etc, etc. So we just need to figure out the fan direction for this. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, so right, so I've decided that we want the GPU, or rather the radiator, to act as an intake, so we have air coming in on both sides and then out for vertical standing. So we're just gonna flip all the fans 180. So it's slightly counterintuitive. Fluid dynamics, blah blah blah, airflow, blah blah blah. That should give us some good airflow. Okay, so let's thread this through. So just in like that. And then that thumb screw is still in the way. It's in the way, that's no longer in the way. There's a screw just right here, just right there. Here, which will interface with putting the fan in, but once it goes in, the fan can still spin freely and it can be in place. But it does mean that this is now wedge stuck. Based on this documentation, it should come about to 2/3 or to the bottom line. We are not meeting that. We are just below. We are just like middle of the fan. So that could be a slight issue, as well as it just being wedged shut in there as well. But we're going to carry on and see how it goes. Right, so before we do anything else, we need to select our cable and install brackets and stuff like that. So where's my AIO stuff? So that's the Intel. Where's the so
1 hour later.
right, that's a bit of a pickle because I cannot find so, and I believe they haven't sent to me so I need to review the footage later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this, and what we're going to do is we're going to return and get a cooler with the bracket so we can actually install it, and to get a slightly smaller bracket as cooling fan as well, so it would actually fit and doesn't have to squeeze as hard, or we'll just at least get a thinner one, right? So that's unfortunate that we found this as we're building, but I'd rather not risk anything. What we're going to do is just going to turn all the fans back, correct orientation, and then put it back in the box. Now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the rest of the power supply to the rest of the system, so that when the new AIO does come, hopefully tomorrow, we can have something ready to go. I can. That is, making it easy to build is such an important aspect, especially for a first-time builder like me. I have no idea what I'm doing. You still can't really see much, but I tried. There's space right here. Goes in, that goes click, that feeds through here. It is long enough, okay. Make sure that's fully in. Second attempt, and we have a new cooler. Slightly different, we have gone for a Thermalright. One thing I have noticed yesterday when I was researching it, the Arctic one has a slightly thicker radiator, which was why we were having issues with the fitment of the radiator inside, but this one should be of standard height, and actually we have parts this time. So contradictory to what I said yesterday, just thinking about how the PC is going to be fitted on tables with my current setup at the moment, which, as you can see, I don't have a lot of space, so I definitely can't put one like it here. So the only kind of feasible space is kind of there, if it fits. But also thinking about its temporary location, which this is, we're going to think about its permanent location, which will be downstairs on a separate project. It doesn't make sense for it to be upright, so we're going to have the PC horizontal. Oh dear, you were there. But we also need to change the fans on the side. So these are no longer exhaust and we need them to be intakes. And because now we have the PC mounted horizontally, placement of the AIO, but it's less critical now. We don't need it to be a certain height of it. Right? The main difference of this is that this has an LCD screen, which would be quite cool. Again, have to remember to remove that when we get to installing. Put those down so that it's in. This fits way better. So I'm gonna move this one over just a notch so that the entire radiator is covering the entire motherboard. Not that I think it matters too much. So let's remove the original brackets. And then hopefully inside this box we are going to find the parts that we need. USB-C cable. So that's the AMD brackets that we need. AM4, AM5, we need that. AM4, AM5, that's the standoffs that we need. That goes over the top of those. 3 inwards with thumb screws. Okay, so that's screwed in, it's just hand tight. I think the length of the cable means it's want to go this way. I think this way makes the most sense because we can then see the screen, otherwise it's going to be blocked and that defeats all purpose of this. Right, so I do have thermal paste given here. This is Thermalright TF7, just the cross method, which I think is fairly standard for operations like these. And also, before I do anything, I'm going to remove this, otherwise I will repeat the worries of many. So there goes. Whoops. I can see why they say it's quite hard to apply. My X has gone not very X. It has become quite turd-like. That being said, let's now push this down. That hasn't worked at all. I think I realized what the mistake is. I think there is a direction to the mounting brackets. So there might be a screw hole underneath there. Yes, there is a screw hole. Silly me, silly me. Hopefully that should be fine. All thermal paste should be non-conductive, so it shouldn't really go and touch the motherboard and short anything out, because we're not using liquid metal, which, if you didn't know, I was repasting my laptop with liquid metal, and that shorted out, and then I was out of the laptop for a while. It's a little bit long, but we can. Yeah, that's better in terms of viewing angles. Right, let's see where these go, shall we?
1 hour later.
Double checking. I still need a ATX 12V in, so that's a power cable I need. We'll see if it fits through that hole. It might be a bit big. That's annoying. I have to take off everything now as well. Start with the GPU then. Also, good chance for us to take off the plastic of the GPU, which we need to do as well. Oops. It does say remove plastic before use. So, does that need to be released? Can I just pull? Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Oh dear.
Next up, we're going to release the PCIe slot. That's going to be a little latch in the back. Sometimes you can use a screwdriver if you need to, because it can be a little difficult. So there we go, we got a little click, and then the card should come out in one piece just like this. Steps, but a lot of times you just remove the screws.
Shut up. Pushing down or sliding the tab. We try pushing. So let's try sliding. This is in such an awkward place as well. Fuck. But that's the latch. Broke the latch off the PCIe slot. I think that's fixable. Luckily, I don't think we've damaged any of the pins on the PCIe slot. That still looks fine. So let's push this back in. Okay. You probably couldn't see anything because I was just panicking. I was like, fuck. Right, I'm so warm now as well. Right, crisis averted. I think we had a bit of an unfortunate issue when we were trying to take the GPU out of the mount. So the latch on the GPU is a bit stiff here. I have managed to put it back on. So we didn't break GPU because there's no damage to the pins that I can see here. and that's still fine. What we're gonna do now is remove the motherboard so that there is enough space for it to feed that power cable through. Kind of annoyed that I have to do this. I mean, it could come through here, right? Radiator's still in the way. I mean, better to take off the radiator, right, instead of the GPU, instead of the CPU, instead of the motherboard. Probably could have avoided all of that, but let's see if that actually works. I'll be so annoyed at myself if I didn't notice that hole earlier. But that's also why people pay good money for a CPU to be built, a computer to be built properly, isn't it? And I can just clip in through there. Yep, that was unnecessarily stressful. GPU back on, taking off the cover. That's not satisfying at all. Should have given it like a tail or something, right? For this. See, the thing is, it doesn't feel like I should remove this one. I got it. It's just so hard. Nice. Also, way better experience than. Right, now comes the terrifying part. I have to put this back in again. Okay, that's in. That is in. I think that's it then. I think that would be it. We have a glass side panel, which is this one. Clips in like that, nice and easy. We have a front glass panel, similar thing. It's actually a press to release. I didn't know that, so I was trying to struggle with it. The final side panel. Then we have two of these ones, which again are magnetic. Top panel, rather, so that's where all your cables come out of. That goes here. It's also taller than my monitors. That's a bit of an issue, isn't it? Kind of a hub thing, so we can then use peripherals, and we need our boot drive, which is going to install Windows. So, moment of truth. Let's go and turn it on, shall we? I am absolutely terrified of what might happen if we didn't put everything right. Nothing happened yet. Press the power button. There's a light. That's a good sign. I hear fans going. That's definitely pulling. Nothing on the sides yet. What is that light? It says blue. Blue is generally good. No signal detected. Oh, that turned on. That's good. That's turned white. Is it gonna do it? Is it gonna do it? That's turned yellow again. Turn white again. It's rebooting. Input HDMI 2. Is it trying to look for a boot drive and it doesn't have one? Oh no, ASRock. Yay! It works. Right. We have AMD Ryzen 7 98008 core, total memory 32 gig. We have in B2 and A2 is what they wanted. I'm excited. It works. Advanced CPU configuration.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we just saved the setup. We're gonna see what it does now. Oh, RGB lights. I will probably turn those to be just single color because I don't really want rainbow vomit all over my stuff. Plug in, restart, and then immediately tap F1 to open the boot menu. Something's happened. There's a dot. Select boot. Okay. ASRock. I think that's it running. That's it trying to run. Blue screen. It works. Okay. Cool. I will update you guys when it is done. So the idea is we can get Windows working on this one from the old PC to the new PC. So old PC, we can turn that into SteamOS, and then the new PC will have Windows 11. think that's the problem with Windows 11 at the moment, is there's just so much things they're trying to get you to do. It's like, I don't want that. I don't need that. No. Just let me set up. Yes, we should install latest drivers. So I did do some benchmarking on the benchmark.org website, but apparently I need to pay for my results, so I didn't do that. Pretty sure I did do one that was free a couple years back, but I couldn't really be bothered to try and figure that out then. I also actually managed to transfer my Windows license across by digging up my license key that I had. But apparently you can't just transfer from a Windows 10 to Windows 11 as you could previously, or as I thought you could. Right, end of the day. Now we have the chassis stand kit. And we also cleared the table a little bit. I did manage to get it on discount, which makes me very pleased because it means I'm spending less money on things. We have a base and then the chassis stand thing and the base. So as you can see, it's already fairly big. That's probably the footprint of what we're going to be looking at. Before we go any further, just let me see where things can go. So one of the issue is like how tall this thing is. Crack, crack. Oof. That was not nice. So the ideal would be that it is here. I don't know whether that's possible. Don't drop the PC. The PC would go something like this, right? And as you can tell, that blocks half my monitor. So that's not ideal. Are we able to move the monitors in front of the PC? That's where it would go. That would just hit. Actually, saying that, if we have the monitors all the way out here, I mean, yes, I am blocking the aesthetics of the PC, but it fits in temporarily, then at least it's usable, right? So then I need to bend this. I have cut my working space by about half. If you have a look at my desk now, and that's cut my space by about half. It's come out that far. Because this can't go up anymore. As you can see, that's already all the way to the top. Right, it's a little bit of a mess, but the idea is, this is my gaming PC now. It gets, the HDMI output gets routed to an Elgato stream capture, and then the output of that goes straight into the monitor. Now what this does is, instead of having to deal with moving all of my stuff across, and also my editing laptop being full at the moment, I need to clear the backlog of this first. So what I'm going to do is use this laptop as the streaming PC, the streaming laptop, and then the gaming laptop is going to be that. We're going to try this out on stream and we'll see how that goes. To be honest, the dual pieces have worked for a while until my laptop decided to suddenly just stop streaming and goes into hibernation mode for no apparent reason, even if I was like waggling the mouse and stuff, which was really annoying and means like every time in the stream, at least once I kind of disconnect and have to reconnect again. After that happened a few times, I just decided, no, I'm just gonna go with one singular PC, and then did another whole job of reorganizing my wire, my dock, everything. And now the PC, and now the laptop mostly lives downstairs as my editing PC for short, or if I'm going on travel, and the desktop now just lives upstairs, which kind of defeats the purpose. But there was also some plan change with regarding to having a desk downstairs. So all in all, I'm fairly happy with the build that I have here. Obviously, there is just space constraints, which means I can't do things the way I want them to in the short term. But that's it for today then. I'll see you on the next video on Makers of All, Master of None. Bye!